especially now with TikTok clips and reels, it's like, it's almost like a little bit of a porn, a little bit of a fantasy for people. They'll watch these Goggins videos or whoever the fuck. Oh, you gotta kill this bitch inside and you gotta do this or that, you gotta be like alpha, blah 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 blah. And they'll just get a high from this little video and then that little video and then this little video, and they've just spent ages watching these little videos and doing nothing. Motivation is boring as fuck.
I want to win a major world title in MMA, and then I want to coach multiple people to win major world titles in MMA. Like, I don't really, you know, there's maybe like little goals like get a house and this and that, but like I don't have a lot of goals outside of MMA. When I'm done with fighting, I'm a coach. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I want to get all the way to the top of the lightweight division. It's the premier division in the sport, which makes you kind of like the premier athlete in the sport. More than that, it's the moment to moment of doing it every day, hitting the pads. People always view it like this. You do a horrendous training camp, you get to the end, see if you get a win. If you get a win, then you're happy. And it doesn't work like that. It's the moment to moment expressing this physical frame that you're only going to have for a brief period of time. You're not going to be at that peak level all your life. Whether that's just you're hitting the pads or you're just doing rounds, you're sparring, you're preparing yourself for that fight and then the fight itself, that is the dream.
This morning we'll be doing like the last little like horrible hard session of fight camp. Normally we do this like the last Saturday before a fight. It's position pads. We do it the last 3 Saturdays before a fight. We just alternate between like bad or sometimes good positions and pad work. Kind of gets that fight intensity. You're throwing your shots full power. You're grappling as hard as you can. But it's not the same damage as sparring. You're not taking the same knocks, the same impact on your body. So it's really good. Like last 3 Saturdays before a fight, we tend to do that, and it's horrible. So we don't want any of your movements at any point really, even in conditioning stuff, to be the point where you're like going, and you're like doing slow shoots and sprawls. We want everything fast because we got to knock this cunt out. Impress Dana.
Is it 4 weeks out from Contender Series now?
So on Tuesday, it's 4 weeks out. So we're 4 weeks and 3 days. So this is quite a novelty. First fight on a Tuesday. I fought on a Friday, fought on a Saturday, fought on a Sunday, but I fought on a Tuesday. Tuesday is normally some no-gi on the night, and then I'll get home and watch some zero punctuation reviews of games I'll never play.
What are you working on at this point in the fight camp?
So, I've kind of had similar opponents. Fight camp after fight camp after fight camp. The Assy was very different, but we always work on everything, but you've got another guy who's a really good wrestler. He's either going to try and swing left and right, make it dirty, or he'll try and wrestle a bit more. And just being prepared if someone does wrestle. It's like every time. It's also just for fitness. One of the best things, if not the best thing you can do for fitness as a fighter, is just get yourself in the worst spots, escape them. We've been doing this loads. We've been doing this for years now. Volkanovski goes big on it. Now everyone's talking about it because Volkanovski's been talking about it, but we've been doing it a while. It's like whenever you fight someone who wants to wrestle you, wants to grapple you, just being able to work out bad positions for minutes at a time and then still hit hard by the end of them. It's one thing to get out the position, but it's another thing to be able to get out the position and then have solid enough fitness and solid enough like mental fortitude to actually like hit hard.
The first video game I ever seen was the first Resident Evil. Watched our older brother play that a bit. But the first video game I ever played was Tekken 2.
I think a strong memory for me is I think we just put it on before school. First Devil May Cry and how hard it was. And the last boss, Harry was just spazzing about with it. Managed to beat it.
Before James did.
Yeah, before our oldest brother did. And our oldest brother was like the best game.
And I had to not save because I didn't want to like ruin his save file and take away the ending for him. Well, I just figured out that with Nightmare you can charge your devil figure in it. So PS1 was Resident Evil 1 and Tekken 2. and then Devil May Cry was PS2. So I remember with the original copies of Resident Evil Code Veronica X, there was a Devil May Cry demo, and we were like blown away by it. Like James played it, and we were like, "What the fuck?" And then the demo finished on a pretty good cliffhanger.
I'm trying to think. This is definitely going to get more expensive. The prices of whatever this is going to go. Well, Tenchu Fatal Shadows. Played Wrath of Heaven, and Wrath of Heaven was really good.
Yeah, if you want,
I don't think this is as good, but it's fucking Tenchu.
if you want any smart investments, buy games that are not likely to get a remastered version.
Do you still have a PlayStation 2 now?
Oh yeah. I need to sort out the wires so I can play it a bit more. Because the thing about modern gaming is so clean and they can still be good games and not a nostalgia wanker. But you stick one of these in the PS2 and it turns on. It's like every sense is filled. I don't know if that's just a pure nostalgia bait thing for me.
I don't know, like, cause we made Leon play this and stream it, and he almost had an existential crisis at the time of the credits, because he was like, "Whoa, that game controlled so well," and like, it was from before I existed, and then started to contemplate his existence.
So they've got loads of games that are.
However, speaking of games that don't control well, Devil May Cry 2. So like, PS3 had a lot of good games, but was just, as a bit of hardware, it was fucking arse. PS4, there was some genuinely like really good games. PS5 still a bit pointless at the minute, but it's really quiet. That's what it's got going for it. You go through all the levels, and then you can tell when they run out of money, because then you have to go back through the same levels as another character. Pretty much the same levels. Fucking spectacular game though, like the moment-to-moment gameplay.
Is that one of your favourite series, the Devil May Cry series?
Yeah, like I'd say my favourite game ever, Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
It's kind of like all the others are good in their own way, but Devil May Cry 5 is the best, like balanced as a game. And then strangely, a theme that runs through that is two brothers fighting each other and almost like finding excuses to fight each other. And yeah, like the last boss, you know, like he's well known among video game people as the Virgil boss fights are the best boss fights in games. Like they just are.
Yeah.
If you ask someone who's into action games, like if you tell them, like, I think Virgil is the best boss fight ever, no one's going to disagree with that. And obviously, that's a brother versus brother boss fight.
So that was an impromptu trip to CEX. Zero planning on that. Had nothing that I wanted to buy and ended up spending 82 quid. So first, we got Tenchu, Fatal Shadows. Probably going to go up in value. But you know, Tenchu Wrath of Heaven, I've played that. That's an unreal game on PS2. I don't think this is as highly rated, but I'll give it a look in. This one I wanted to play for ages. Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. It's like a co-op, brawler, beat 'em up spin-off of the Mortal Kombat franchise. I've never been a Mortal Kombat guy, I've always been a Tekken guy, but I wanted to play this. Bayonetta 3, Bayonetta 1 and 2, banging good games, even though there's loads of annoying stuff in Bayonetta 1, and it gives you arthritis because it tells you to bash the Y button or whatever it is, loads and quick time events. But I'll be interested to play this. I'm in London all next week, so I'll probably get some time to play it. Metal Gear Solid 2. Not just Metal Gear Solid 2. We got Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. That has all sorts of extras in it. What are the substantial features? Substance exclusive VR missions, Snake Tails, playable characters, and Solid Snake goes snakeboarding, skateboarding. I'm turning it Tito. Boxing Classics 10-disc collection. You know, I like a good old boxing documentary, and you know, I like obviously Sugar Ray Robinson, Ray Leonard, Joe Louis. There's a lot about that, but what really caught my eye and sealed the purchase is disc 9. Alexis Arguello and the Lightweights. Alexis Arguello, El Flaco Explosivo. In my top 5 favourite boxers of all time. Beautiful lead uppercut. Dig the body with uppercuts. Had some insane fights. He was a 3-weight world champion back when there were less weights about, so it meant a little bit more. Had that really controversial fight with Aaron Pryor. Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, possibly my favourite boxer ever. He was his protege. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to watching that. I think when those bonuses start coming in, I'm going to buy the whole shop and then have no time to play any of it because I've spent all day training and coaching and making videos for fights. So I'll have no time whatsoever.
How much does your fight camp rely on caffeine?
My life relies on caffeine. My personality is caffeine generally. Like I had my last coffee this morning before fight day. Last time I did this was the first time I did this like detox from caffeine, and then
You were saying you detox like fight week.
yeah, just
Plus
fight
caffeine.
week. Like Joe Fields does something where he detoxes for like 10 days, and then he has Pro Plus in the warm-up room and says it makes him feel like hyper alert and his reactions and shit are really good. I just did fight week last time. I had a few days where I lowered my caffeine intake, so today's one of those days. I had coffee this morning, and then no coffee until the warm-up room of the fight where I just sip coffee, because I feel like if you take too much, with the Pro Plus, if that caffeine's too much, it's all in you there, there's nothing you can do about it. Whereas at least with coffee you can sip it. But at the minute I'm struggling to read. I'm trying to compare the current electrolytes I use with these ones that have the Informed Sport logo, because obviously if I want to get on Contender Series shortly, as soon after this fight as I can. So I need to have, I'm making an effort to take this Informed Sport stuff as well, because like the USADA drug testing and stuff. But I'm like, I don't know if it's dyslexia or CTE, but like I have numbers here and I have numbers there, and I can't compare them for the life of me. It's just all like, I'm reading them and the letters are just sort of going. Thank you very much. And you see over those murky waters of the Tees, that land over there, that is Billingham and the headlands. You don't venture there. There's fuck all in the headland.
What about Sunderland?
Sunderland's also a shithole. It's a dump. It's a faceless dump. At least Teesside's got a big blue bridge with a gondola that doesn't work, that you can bungee jump off. What other towns have that?
There'll be a breeze of 3 miles an hour today. So it's closed.
No, it's permanently closed now.
Well, it's closed whatever the wind speed